Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a leg day, and I started off with back squats. Went ahead and went with high bar, and I feel like because of the other stuff I'm doing right now to make sure that my shoulder health is 100% on point, I want to fully get that range of motion back. Everything I do is geared towards still getting bigger and stronger while reducing any inflammation on the AC joint. So that also includes I had to think about not even doing low bar squats. So I went ahead and did high bar squats, even though I've got the belt on, the shoes. Like, let's just work on high bar squats. I'm going to do them with the toes out instead of how I previously do them, because when I do go over, if I mess with some wider stance low bar coming up once the shoulder feels really good and want to hit some big numbers on it, I do need to be kind of used to that. So I'm still using a relatively close stance, close for me. But again, notice we kind of have we have the toes out and everything, still just inside shoulder width, and just focusing on getting some quality reps. So I ramped up a little bit. And notice since I'm kind of doing high bar, I'm not even using a squat bar. We just used the power bar. So for these, I went ahead, ramped up to 455, did a triple with it. One of the things I want to note, I'm still feeling quite a bit of like low back fatigue when I'm squatting. It almost feels like it's a limit. It doesn't even feel like my quads are limiting my squats, but when we see how my quads look, just on camera, that makes sense. My quads probably are big enough to squat well past 500, at least, based on the other stuff I've seen, looking at their size, looking at my historic numbers. So I do feel like at this point, almost my back is limiting my squats, right? But we're still going to train quads because bigger quads never hurt. But something I'm going to have to really think about is the amount of reverse hypers I'm doing, for example. I feel like I'm going to need more of them because that triple was pretty good and it looked good and it moved pretty good, but I felt like my back was limiting me, even from rep one. So afterwards, and I want to get more squat volume in, but I just feel like my low back is not doesn't have the work capacity at the moment, especially with the deadlifting I'm doing. And I think the key to doing a lot of this is to, again, make sure that we get plenty of reverse hypers in. I'm going to need to push those up and up and up and up. I'm going to need to prioritize them a lot, right? It's something I'm going to need to do. So afterwards, I went ahead and threw 40 pounds of chains. I'm aware on that right side, it's a little lower. I didn't hook it up quite as high as the left. So it's maybe not the full 40 pounds at the lockout, but it's just the majority of it. Losing a little bit, but I went ahead and threw 40 pounds on, did a double. And again, the fatigue was kind of mounting there. So I went ahead and I'm like, let's just get a good pause in, get a good stretch, and then we'll go on to all the machine work. So I went ahead and did 365 for just a good pause squat. Wanted a few seconds pause at the bottom, which I got. Drove it up and then went over to my machines. So again, felt good, but again, I'm just noticing that general fatigue. But I feel like maybe doing some stuff like that would be good. Come in and just maybe do some pauses or something with 405, or throw some chains on to do non-pauses. So I can rotate a lot of stuff. Again, using some of the conjugate concepts. The main thing is just getting more and more squatting in, getting the squatting in, and just focus on getting stronger on the squatting. And then afterwards, we use machines to build everything. So I went ahead and went heavy because I left the squat shoes on. I can get deeper. I get so much deeper on these belt squats, which means I can't do as much weight. So I got like 8 to 10 last time with 220. I'm like, let's put a 25 extra on there. I got 6s and they lit my quads up. My quads were just on fire from those. Like, that felt hard. So again, nice, good quad work there. And then I supersetted it with the reverse hypers. So again, I feel like I've got to do more and more reverse hypers. It's like if I can get that low back strong, I can get it recovered, get it where I need it. It's just going to improve all this stuff. Because again, I feel like my back is limiting my squats to some extent, especially when I do the high bar. High bar is harder on that. And I do feel like, though, if I just keep getting stronger at all that and keep the low back strong, when I do go back over and mess with some low bar, we'll be in a good spot. I'm also debating with that if on the posterior chain day, if I need to just drop the glute ham raises and just focus on good mornings and reverse hypers after pulling. So again, looking at where I'm weakest on those squats, and I don't want to complain. 455 for a triple on a high bar is not bad. Most people would be almost anyone my age would be like, are you serious? Should be ecstatic about that. But I want more. I want more than that. I'm trying to take my stuff back up to another tier, right? The pursuit of excellence. So what I did here, I did supersets with that. So I want to continue to refine the low back. I need to get it stronger, in better shape. Reverse hypers are keen for that. And I'm hoping I'll be able to do some good mornings and stuff again by adding all that in. So I think that's a lot of where the focus needs to be. I almost feel like, I don't know that I even need the leg extensions I'm doing. I feel like the belt squat does all that I need for volume work. I should maybe focus on that in reverse hypers, and then focus reverse hypers and good mornings on the posterior chain day after pulling. And I feel like that would get it done, just more and more work on those. But today I went ahead and just did it this way. I did 3 sets of belt squats, 3 sets of reverse hypers. So I did 6s on the belt squats, 25s on the reverse hypers as a superset. And then we ended up finishing up with my leg extensions. Right, we finished up with leg extensions after. Of course, I still have another couple sets of these to go. But reverse hypers have always been a game changer. And so I do feel like if I do more and more of these, I might even need to take the volume up and start doing 5 sets again twice a week. When I used to do that, man, my low back was in just great condition, and I was so strong on deadlifts and good mornings. So I feel like I need to push this up, just like I'm pushing all the band work up. Same thing I'm doing with triceps, for as far as the go muscles go. Really trying to push, even though I'm pushing a lot of heavy pressing and other work for triceps, I've been doubling down on the band work. That high rep restoration work. Get those triceps stronger, because I know if that tricep strength and work capacity comes up, my benching is going to go up, especially since I'm close gripping now. So kind of the same thing there. It's like push the reverse hypers the same way. Build that area. Build the work capacity, build the muscle, build the connective tissue. Because if we can get that stronger, I feel like that limit's going to be gone on the squats. And then, when I switch back over to some low bar and take that stance out, I think I'm going to be able to hit some really respectable numbers coming up. But again, we can build all this stuff. We can build all of it. And I don't know how long I'll do the high bar there. It worked good this week. I felt like a good training response. But next week, my shoulders might be feeling really good, and it might be time to just say, let's go back into that low bar. All right? Get that bar down my back, get that stance out. All right? Get that stance out, and, just hammer it. So we'll see how I feel next week. But the thing is, people will say, well, how can you change? It doesn't matter. All right? I can rotate squats around all the time. The main thing is I'm getting a heavy bar on my back and I'm squatting. I've built massive squats changing that stuff around all the time. In fact, there's certain benefits to doing it that way. Okay, as long as we're building muscle and strength, because again, we learn to squat in those different positions. It means we also get good at different awkward angles. We get heavy at multiple positions, multiple bars. Not a bad thing. Okay, makes you good at grinding through when things get squirrely, they get catawampus. So then after that, I finished up with 3 sets of leg extensions to failure. 3 sets of leg extensions to failure, then did a set of hanging leg raises. Now the leg extensions, they ended up being around 18 to 19 reps roughly, and then they failed. But again, like I said, I almost feel like I don't know that I need these anymore. Feel like if I could just get the squat volume up and then just hammer the belt squats or reverse hypers would be good. I could probably do something like 5 sets of each of those after doing back squats, and be in a really, really good place. So that's something I may do with a lot of this moving forward. So, yep. So one more set of these, and again, they work pretty well. I mean, like I said, some people say, oh, that doing them on that machine doesn't work. It does. I feel my quads burn a lot. It works pretty good. Could we argue maybe some of the machines in the gym are better? But at the end of the day, I'm getting a deep stretch on the other stuff. This is turning into a little more of a mid-range and contracted position anyways. Right? So, still getting some quad isolation. Sorry, I'm yawning for some reason. I don't know why. Getting a little tired. But, yeah, so I almost feel like moving forward, I should gear towards the other direction. And I think really pushing those reverse hypers up. Really pushing those up on both of the lower days, both the posterior chain and the quad dominant day, would be a good way to go. And then I finish up with a set of hanging leg raises. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.